Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so excited to welcome you all to the evening session of the Progressive School Leaders Bootcamp. Thank you so much for being part of this. And we are some minutes late in the schedule already, so we're just going to get straight into it. I hope everybody can hear me. Glad to be everybody back to the session. So this is the evening session of the Progressive School Leaders Bootcamp. I'm so glad to welcome you back. Sir, can you hear me, sir?
Good
Okay, our speaker
afternoon.
is here already.
Yeah, even though the echo, there's
Can you hear me,
something.
sir?
Yeah, but can you hear me clearly also? Can you hear me
Okay, I
clearly?
think you've got with two devices, so that might be.
There
Yes, I can
is
hear you
some kind of
clearly.
echo. There is an echo.
Okay,
Echo.
okay.
All right. Hello. Oh, me, I'm not using earpiece. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me at all? Uh, hello. Hello. Uh, okay. Um, Looks like I'm already in the show, and I hope that people are hearing me. Um, I think technology is giving us a little challenge. Um, I hope I can go on with all right.
For the second part of the Yes, we're back for the for the last part of the Progressive School Leaders Bootcamp. I hope we are all having a great evening. We have our speaker here with us already, Coach Akim Benjamin. I'm just going to introduce him right away and while we get ahead with this session because of our time. Thank you so much for being here, sir. Thank you so much. I will
Well,
appreciate the into the progressive. So, Coach Akim Benjamin is going to be talking on cultivating a positive school culture, nurturing a supportive and collaborative work environment. Wait, what does it say, sir?
I say it's my pleasure coming up, being on the program.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, sir. So I'm just going
You're
to,
welcome.
I'm going to start by introducing him right away. So please just Akin Benjamin is a passionate teacher, a school improvement and quality assurance consultant based in Lagos, Nigeria, and a thought leader in the education sector. He helps schools achieve quality improvement, guide them to attain and incorporate internal quality assurance systems in their operations. He also helps schools achieve all-round growth. He has been a regular speaker at the Total School Support Exhibition (TOSE) from 2019 to 2023 at an education conference and judged the largest gathering of teachers in Africa. He was a guest debater on the Big Issue program of TVC broadcast nationwide. The debate was on better behavior management at home and in schools. Akin Benjamin was program leader and later acting executive director. Hello, sir. I didn't hear you, sir.
Well, network has been a bit funny, but I think we are back. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you clearly.
Great.
Okay,
All
actually, I
right.
just finished reading the but I don't know if it's audible at all.
I heard you to a point, and then the network messed up. And I hope that will not be the situation with what
So,
we want to
okay.
hear. Uh, you would like me to speak
No, no, no.
on building positive, collaborative culture, within the school
Yes.
system. Yes, and sincerely speaking, it is a very, very important aspect of what we the edu space in schools. Some research has told us, and we found out that whereas the number one most important factor in the education system within schools and for the success of the children is the quality of teachers, the second most important factor that affects the success of learners and the overall success of what we do in schools is the school culture, the dominant culture of the school. Um, because people are so focused on academic excellence for our pupils and students, and a lot of school owners are also focused on profitability, which is not a bad idea, but most of them ignore creating a positive school culture. a lot in so many schools, and I would cite examples without mentioning names. School culture, very, very important to create a positive culture where teachers and staff, they feel empowered, they feel supported and appreciated. That kind of culture where they are also delivering excellence in response to the stimuli that they are getting from the management and the owner of school is very crucial to the sustained student success and profitability. Okay, so we want our children to be successful. We also want to be profitable as schools. We need a positive, nurturing school culture to make that happen. Very, very important. Very, very important. And I hope I am audible. Am I audible? Because I had to switch off video so that network can be helped.
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir. You're audible, sir.
Great, great. So when we talk about a positive school culture, we're talking about shared beliefs, shared vision that affects the processes and smooth operation and delivery of all that we do in school, where everybody works with peace of mind, but are also delivering excellence. Okay, that is what I see. And what are the things that are involved? I've been to schools where some teachers, some members of staff have almost, ganging up against the school owner. In some places, school owners being very mean to teachers. Sometimes when I read what teachers write about how they are treated as workers, one would want to lament. And some people may think, oh, that's exaggeration, but it is not. It is not. In some schools, they do not only deduct tax from teachers, but school owners also deduct tithes. Tithes, which should be an individual decision, and into whichever church the individuals or mosque the individuals want to pay. There have been situations where some school owners will tell a noisy class to stand up, including their teacher who was there. And I've seen situations where teachers planned and implemented an end of the year party without involving their employer, because the person is not always available. So the owner stumbled on their party and said, what is going on here? They said they're having an end of the year party. I said, wow, without informing me. So it can go either way. But you see, that's not what we want, because when you have that kind of culture, it will impact negatively on what everybody does. It will not make for success, even for learners. So what are the key things involved? All right. I will start by saying that a clear vision, the vision of the school, the vision in the heart of the school owner must be very clear and shared constantly with members of staff, school leaders and teachers, support staff and everybody, so that the good book, my own manual says, write the vision, make it plain, so that he that readeth will run with it. If you don't make it plain, they don't even know what your vision is. They cannot create a culture that will exemplify that vision and give life to that vision. And that I find in most schools, because I do that kind of thing. I train teachers in many schools and all of that. And sometimes I say, what is the vision and mission of this school? Most teachers can't tell. They're just there for the end of month salary do their work, collect the month sides with the salary at the end of month. You cannot create a culture as seen in the heart of the owner that way. And so common goals to achieve a positive culture, to build a nurturing culture, you need common goals stemming out of the vision to now build what we call collective responsibility, so that individuals are not just working, in silos, minding their own corner, but having a collective responsibility about what happens in the school, and then creating continuous improvement, making sure there's continuous improvement. That's the foundation. The vision is the foundation. So if the owner of school, who is the visionary, cannot, put the vision out to the members of staff and constantly do so to make it, like a working document, what they are working with, then the wrong school culture will begin to emerge, because it's as if they don't even have direction. That's very important. If you're a school owner and you are not the one that is actively in charge, your school leaders should be able to push that vision, make it so clear, get everybody on board with common goals, creating collective responsibility, and then working every time towards continuous improvement. All right, so that's important. That's the foundation for this discussion, because in most cases that is missing. People are just going through the everyday running to get things done without really knowing why they are doing so. If you don't have a big why, you will not be able to create a culture that is important and that can galvanize everybody. Okay, so you need that kind of positive culture where everybody feels empowered. Teachers, staff, support staff, school leaders feel empowered, supported, and then appreciated. That is key. That's not what we find in many schools. What we find in many schools is that teachers feel haunted. They feel haunted. They feel intimidated. They feel that somebody is breathing over their shoulders. In some cases, they are the reasons for that, because they are not delivering, the deliverables are not happening, and the school owner wants them to get the job done. So, like I tell myself that what you need, there are three factors that's governed my own practice in 3 decades. Even as a teacher and as a leader, I tell people that I will be friendly with my colleagues, friendly even with management, friendly with the children I teach, but I will be firm. I'll be firm in the classroom. I'll be firm in my relationship. There will be boundaries, even though I relate well, but I'll be fair. I will be fair. When I say firm, firm means that in my relationship with my colleagues, though I'm being friendly, I'm not going to take nonsense. Even with leadership, I am friendly, but I'll be firm. If you push if you're a user in a very polite way, I will let you know that is not acceptable to me. If there are things that are not legal, that are not ethical, and that you push to me, I will, in a very friendly, polite way, be firm to read it. Because you see, you have to be assertive also. You being a teacher and wanting to work within a culture that is positive and support does not mean you should become a doormat. No. But that doesn't also mean that you should be the fighter that's always fighting everybody. Okay, so and then I'll be fair, being fair on all, being fair in your dealings with your leaders, being fair in your dealings with your colleagues, being fair in your dealing with the children that you teach. Very, very important. So those three F's: being friendly, being firm, and being fair at all times, has governed my own career over time. So getting to the basics, relationship matters. Relationship, to build a positive, nurturing culture, relationship matters. uh, and this has to do with respect and trust, respecting one another within the system. It could, and that's why the vision is important, and the values, the core values of the school is respect and mutual trust, part of what you push. Okay. Love, even for the learners that you teach, because there are some schools, because you see, the school culture has to do with leadership, with staff, and with the children, and even parents. It's not, the school culture is all encompassing like that. Do you show love to learners? Are you harsh with learners? Is it a school where children want to come even when they are sick? I remember that I was heading a school in Abuja, and sometimes when one of some of our pupils and students are sick, they still want to come to school. Parents are the one that will be calling us, sir, Mr. Benjamin, please talk to your son. Still wants to come to school when he's down, because they want to come. That's how it should be. And then empathetic leadership, a leadership that is empathetic. In a particular school that I consult for, a lady took ill, came down with measles. Then another one said he's sick, he couldn't come, and that's the first time they're asking for such a break, in this term. And somebody was saying, "Oh, that other man may not be telling you should call for." I said, "No, if he has called in sick, he at least has at least a day or two or three in the term. You should just let him be. You want to show empathy, even when you are disengaging staff, and their staff, maybe because they are redundant, not that they have done something terrible. Recently we had to disengage a head teacher, which we felt she was tired of the job, and she was becoming redundant. It was a very honorable way to disengage her, so that you are empathy, you show empathy towards, things that the head teacher, principal should show empathy to staff, to their teachers, even to support staff. Everybody is important. The cleaner must feel proud being a cleaner in that school. Children should feel proud that they are students or pupils in that school. Teachers should feel proud that they are going to school. They should not be afraid. They don't know what they're going to meet when they get to school all the time. So empathetic leadership. Then positive interaction is important. Positive interactions on a daily basis, ensuring there are positive interactions, not negative interactions. When some people get beyond their boundaries, there are disciplinary measures and systems and policies in place to handle that. It is not that somebody just wants to, you don't like somebody's face, you are dealing with the person. No, the discipline policy of the school is not just for students and pupils, it's also for staff. You need to establish that. So very important, relationship matters. If you are going to establish, I worked in a particular school where years back I called the principal my emeritus principal emeritus. I think he came into that school twice a week because he had delegated responsibilities and everything. He came in twice weekly, but as he walked around, and that's what I will encourage people, there's what you call management by walking around, MBWA, management by walking around. He walked around and made contact with each staff that he meets. It gives you a quality time when he meets you. Problems that if you can open up, we can solve some problems immediately there, so that every time he meets you is giving you quality time, and building, investing some goodwill into you, and so that you want to do the job well, whether he is there or not. Very important. Are you with me? Hello? Hello? Okay. I hope I'm audible still. Then the another thing that helps with this is collaborative leadership, so that one tree does not make a forest. You cannot uh, you cannot lead in isolation. You cannot lead in isolation. Hello, am I audible at all? Ah, I hope this is going on as it should. Collaborative leadership, leadership ensuring that there's shared decision making. You don't just push things down people's throats. You don't just lord it over others. You ensure that, yes, there may be times when you have to insist on what you have to, what you are saying and want the followers to do. But leaders must learn about collaborative leadership, open communication, shared decision making, and then distributed leadership. The reason why my principal elementary just could do what he was doing then, and the school was running well till today, still running well, is because he had distributed leadership, delegated, trusted, and competent individuals who shares decision making processes with him, who shares leadership with him, and there is open communication. The moment you start having some cliques to yourself as a school leader, then there is trouble within that school. The culture is already been tampered with. You cannot build a positive culture where there are cliques. Some teachers are forming cliques. The management is forming clique with some teachers and all of that. It wouldn't work. It will not engender a good and positive culture within the school. All right. So that is very important. Another thing that is so that is, I've talked about relationship matters. I've talked about collaborative leadership. Another thing that matters is celebrating successes. Celebrating successes for the system, the school that wants to build a positive, nurturing culture will celebrate the successes of members of staff, celebrate successes even of the learners. You need to acknowledge the efforts of those people who work with you, and you need to reward. It doesn't have to be monetary, does it? But it can be. Why not? You can reward with physical gifts and all of that. But just even a letter. Can you write a letter of appreciation? A letter of so teachers who are putting in great effort. I got many of such from great leaders, that led me in the schools where I've worked. So acknowledge effort and then showcasing the talents of the members of staff. On several occasions, in some of the great schools where I worked, I was one of those who the school would just send out to go and represent the school, even at trainings at APEN, at all of that, we went out there to speak as representative of the school. When they realize this is your talent, this is your gift, this is your area of strength, showcasing the talent of your member of the members of staff. Very, very important. They feel great. They feel supported. They feel appreciated. And then that's very, you foster teamwork. Very, very important. You celebrate success. You acknowledge efforts. You showcase talent. You foster teamwork. And then encourage positivity within the system. Even the way you handle challenges that come up, very important. How do you handle challenges that come up within the system? Is it handled in a positive way, or you just want to knock some members of staff? I just told you about even disengaging a school leader. We did it in a way that our ego was not bruised, was not disturbed, we had to ease such a person out of the system. Of course, if the person has done terrible things, can be sacked without all of that. But somebody that like I tell people, if I have to reprimand you as a member of staff, I could do that and be very, 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 very firm doing it. But by the time you are leaving my office, I am binding you together and I'm putting it together so that you know that the correction is not to kill you, is actually to make you better. Am I audible? Am I still being I don't know. I am continuing like this, hoping that I'm making sense and that people are hearing me. All right. So you also need, so I've talked about relationship, building relationship. Relationship matters if you're going to build a positive, collaborative, nurturing culture in your school. It is important to build collaborative leadership. It is important to celebrate successes, showcasing the talents of people so that they feel great, they feel that they are also recognized within the system. And then you empower teachers. Empower your teachers. Empower them. Empower them to take decisions as to regards what they do. Yes, they need to be monitored, supervised, and all that, but let them have some measure of autonomy in how they decide, okay, this is how I want to take this particular lesson. Of course, they should have the basic understanding of what it takes to what an excellent lesson is, but then what they bring in to do it, how they teach it, and all of that. Teachers need some measure of autonomy, some measure of independence to do that. Okay, and then they will need collaborative opportunities. Your school should become a learning community, a community of learning where your teachers, maybe even teachers from schools around you, are there to exchange, coming together to exchange ideas. For example, you can do joint lesson planning. If there are teachers who are teaching same subject across arms, across the same arm of school, of classrooms, of classes, you can do joint lesson planning. Okay, you can also have meetings that say, oh fine, how did it go, and all of that. You can have a lot of peer mentorship amongst teachers. You can have peer observation amongst teachers. These are things that, with in the spirit of wanting to learn from one another, these are things that would really foster collaborative experiences amongst your in a school, and nurture collaboration. Uh, and then you also need to, as we're talking about all of this, don't forget the other stakeholders, because the parents are also a major stakeholder. And so your attitude to parents will also have to be that of collaboration. And parents can do so much for schools if you manage them well. But if you don't know how to manage parents, they can cause trouble for your school. And then your teachers have to also be careful, loving the children. 2 weeks ago, a particular teacher spanked a girl in one of the schools. And the father, I had to go there. The father came to school and was asking, where is the teacher? And the father, they said, is the boxer. We had to step in to ensure that there's no fracas, and we couldn't. And I had to explain a lot of things, and then to let them know that the teacher has already been queried for what he did, and that we're sorry, and that training will be conducted for everybody so that such a thing will never happen again, and all of that. When we were able to, I was visiting that school that day as a consultant. I had to be on ground, and then he left. We got soon to on the same page with us. He left, but his wife and the grandmother of the child came towards afternoon and said, we want to see the teacher, and we had to still pacify them. You don't want that so, and they cannot come like that, and it's a fight that you put up. Of course, sometimes parents also misbehave. A parent might come in and just slap a staff without walking through the protocols that is necessary to lodge complaints. And in such cases, school leadership will have to stand up and really stand up, do investigations, but let the parent know that what the parent has done is bad, and then let there be some consequences for that. So because we need to ensure that we also include parents as stakeholders when we are saying creating a positive culture, building a positive culture. While I'm winding up on this, you need a school that will build a positive culture, will prioritize well-being, the well-being of its staff, the well-being of the children. You need to prioritize that. You don't joke with the well-being of your staff. I mean, schools. If schools are buoyant enough, you can do health plans, health insurance plans for your teachers. There's nothing wrong with that. I enjoyed that in some of the schools where I worked, where even the teacher, his wife, and 4 children can enjoy some measure of, you would elicit loyalty from your staff and build some positivity in your system with that kind of thing. Okay, work balance. Some schools teachers don't leave until around 6 7, when they don't even have any business staying. Too much overloading teachers. We need to ensure there is work balance. We need to be that mindful that they also have work balance, that we're not overstretching our teachers. Sometimes the workload is too much, and it affects them, because even during the weekend now, because there are so many subjects he's teaching, writing lesson plans and everything, he doesn't even have time for his own family. And he may have children who are now also suffering and are not doing fine because he doesn't have time for them, or she doesn't have time for them. You need to consider all of that. You need to build a sense of community. You need to ensure that your teachers, their mental health is supported. Their mental health is supported. There are some school owners, they break down the mental health of their members of staff, especially school leaders. The school leaders go through a lot. I'm talking about head teachers and principals. Their seat is very hot. It's a hot seat they're sitting on, because you see, teachers are expecting this from them, school owners are expecting this from them, and if school owners are not the very positive type, they put pressure. I've been in institutions where head teachers resigned and had to go for mental health attention and treatment. you know so then, within building a sense of community, creating unfortunately gratitude, making gratitude from everybody to one another, a culture, expressions of gratitude by the owner of school to teachers, expression of gratitude from school leader to teachers and members of staff, expression of gratitude among teachers to teacher, expression of gratitude among students and learners. Very important, very, very important. And of course, as I round up, all of this need to be assessed regularly. You must have a way of assessing these things regularly. You must have a way of getting feedback from teachers, from learners, from their parents, and all of that. There must be a system of getting feedback so that you can then improve continually on what you have put in place. And so I have said that school culture refers to the atmosphere, how negative or positive the atmosphere in which people carry out the work that we do as teachers in a school. And I've said that it is important that we create a positive, empowering, supportive, and appreciative school culture. Very, very important. And that the school culture is the second most important factor in working in achieving student success. Okay, and even profitability at the end of the day for the school, sustainable profitability, very, very important. And that I've said, well, relationship matters in school, building good relationship, and then collaborative leadership. One tree does not make a forest. You need to share, decision making should be shared. You need to know how to delegate competent and loyal staff to share decision with you. Open communication, delegation of authority to right people. Then celebrating success, acknowledging the efforts of your members of staff. Very, very important. Fostering teamwork and all of that. So these are issues that we must, prioritizing their well-being, ensuring that mental health is of paramount importance to you. Mental health of everybody within the system, including that of the children, is very important. But the foundation for all of this is a well-explained vision, a clear vision, well articulated, generating common goals and becoming a working document for staff, and then creating an atmosphere where you have collective responsibility, and that which all of these that you assess regularly to have continuous improvement. This is where I will stop. and I hope I made sense to those who are listening. I wouldn't know whether I can get responses, but this is where I would stop it. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening. Any responses? Any? Okay, thank you. Aminot, uh, Asimi, you thank you very much. Thank you. So well done, sir. I'm not sure that the network allowed you to hear me very well. Then those are the ideas. I've shared the ideas I want to share around that same topic. Mr. Latif, are you there? Okay. I guess I would like to exit the platform at this stage. I hope that people got some value from what I shared. Thank you very much.
back here, but finding difficult to unmute myself. The network is really very, it's a bit more of a challenge here. But then I'm glad that we are all here. That we gain a lot of impact from the first session by Peter and Benjamin, and we're going to be going right into the next session very soon.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. I don't know. I can't hear anybody.
Second session now. So I hope everybody can hear me and say yes. Okay, that's good. Okay, so we have our second speaker right now, Coach Folarowa, and she's going to be speaking on parental engagement strategies, fostering meaningful partnerships for student success. Okay, so just give me a second. Let me quickly read out a profile. So, Coach Folarowa Bolarowa is a director of serious schools and educational consultant. With over 10 years of experience in education, Coach Folarowa Bolarowa has dedicated her career to transforming learning environment and enhancing student success. And she's going to be speaking on the topic parental engagement strategies for meaningful partnerships for student success. Please go ahead, Ma. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I don't take this for granted. I know it takes you a lot to be here. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Thank you, Ma. You can go on, Ma. some network issue. So it seems that our speaker is having some network issues. He's going to wait a bit for her to come back. Okay. So please. Okay. She's back now.
Good evening. Good evening. Can everyone hear me?
Okay.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you, ma.
I can hardly hear you, Mr. Abdulatif, Mr. Dedeji. I can hardly hear you.
Yes, we can hear you, ma. I can hear you. Okay, what about now? Can you hear me clearly now? Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's faint. It's faint. But can you hear me?
Oh, okay, okay. But I can hear you clearly. Yes, very loud and clear. Loud
What?
and hear you clearly from here. I can hear you clearly from here.
Oh, okay. You can hear me
You can go
clearly.
ahead, ma. I can hear you
Okay.
clearly from here. Yes, yes.
Okay. So I'm to begin now, right?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. You can begin now.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Um, I hope you can all hear me. Good evening. Good evening. Um, my name is Folaranmi Bolarinwa. Folaranmi Bolarinwa. I'm the director of Serious Schools in Lagos. Um, and today I'll be speaking on parental engagement strategies, fostering meaningful partnership for student success. Now, I'm going to be giving you practical examples, okay? Practical examples, how parents can partner with the school so that students, pupils will be successful. That's basically what I'm talking about today. How parents can partner with the school so that students can be successful. Different strategies that a school can use so that the students can be successful. We all know that, apart from profits, we want our children to be successful. We want the students in our school to be successful. That is one of the main objective of us, owning a school. I own a school of over 200 pupils and students. And one thing that has really helped with the success of these children academically is because we allow the parents to work with us. Sincerely, as a school, as teachers, as directors, we cannot do this on our own. You cannot single-handedly work with the children without the help of the parents. I believe some people here have nursery students, toddlers, preschoolers. You would really know that if these parents do not have an input, the results that you would get would not be that high. I'm going to give you an example. You do something with a child in class on, let's say, on Thursday or Friday, okay? And if you have really been in the classroom, you might realize that before Monday, okay, before Monday, if the child does not go through his or her work, by Monday, the child can come to school, without remembering what he has been taught. And that is why, even after exams, after the holidays, a child can come back to school without remembering anything. I know that the first, second week of resumption for educators, is normally hectic because children, students would have forgotten everything they have learned. And that is why parents have to partner with the school. All right, parents have to partner with the school so that these children can be successful. Sincerely speaking, you cannot lay aside parental influence in the lives of these children. So I'm going to give you practical examples, what has really worked for us as a school, how and sincerely speaking, once your children are successful, academically sound, it is these parents that will tell some of their friends. For me, one of the things that has also worked in growing the school is word of mouth. Word of mouth. Sincerely, if your children, the children in your school, are doing well, okay, parents A will tell parents B will tell parents C will tell parents D. And before you know it, the pupils are increasing in their numbers, and your bank account is growing. So I'm going to give you practical examples of how you can foster meaningful relationship with your parents, and the students and pupils in your school will be successful. The first point I have here is, I have 4 points, 4 to 5 points. Yes. Establish clear and consistent communication channels. Establish clear and consistent communication channels between teachers and parents. Now, this is what this simply means. For some schools, they have WhatsApp platform. For some schools, it's newsletters. For some schools, it's emails. There has to be a channel in which parents and teachers are communicating effectively. For some, it is communication book. All right. There has to be a channel in which you, the teachers, and the parents are communicating. A child comes to school and does not do this his or her homework. Do you just leave that child? A child comes to school and you can see that he or she is not feeling well. Do you just leave that child, or do you find a way to communicate with that parent? For some schools don't do WhatsApp, as in WhatsApp groups. Some schools do emails. Some schools do newsletters. Do what works for you. Do what works for you, but make sure that there is a channel. Make sure there is a channel. If a child does not come to school the first day, the second day, do you communicate to the parents, or you don't care? A child that does not come late to school begins to come late to school. Do you communicate to the parents, or you don't care? When you communicate properly with parents, that is even customer service. When you're sincerely speaking, if your customer service is top notch, it would, allow increase in your numbers. When you truly care about the pupils, about the students in your care, they will be successful. When you truly care about the pupils, about the students in your care, they will be successful. When it comes to academics, you've treated maybe the second week topic in mathematics, in numeracy, is fractions. The third week is fractions. Second and third week is fractions. And you realize that as a teacher, that child has not gotten it. Do you just leave that child, knowing fully well? You see, why we really have to where there has to be good communication is this, especially in the primary section, even in the secondary section. These things are building up on each other. A child that does not understand 2/4 might find it difficult to understand 10/20, might find it difficult to understand 50/100. So what are you doing as a teacher? What are you doing as the director of your school to communicate with these parents that, look, mathematics with a child is still low? What are you doing that, okay, this child does not understand this topic? There has to be a clear medium of communication. How often do you communicate with your parents? How often do you communicate with your parents? Do your parents understand the vision and the mission of your school? It is very, very good to have, to have a clear and consistent communication with your parents, emails, parent-teacher conferences, and school portals where parents can monitor their child's progress and stay informed about school events and updates. I've seen this. Look, and I'm going to tell you something. If you have school events, all right, let's say you have 50 parents in your school, and there is a school event, and just 10 parents are attending or attended that event, there's a question mark somewhere. Are your parents fully informed that there is a school event? Are your parents fully informed of the date and the time of the school event? How often are you communicating? This term, the graduation party, this is the graduation term. I believe we should have started communicating with our parents that this is where it is taking place. This, let them know. Make noise about it. Could you please reduce your voices there? Make noise about it. Your newsletters, your emails. A school was supposed to have an inter-house sport, last term, and then they changed it. And you would not believe that on that, let's say they were supposed to hold the inter-house sports, let's say on the 10th of March, all right, and they had already shifted the date. You won't believe that some parents still came to school on the 10th of March thinking that the inter-house sports would hold. That means there was no clear communication. And of course, the parents were hungry. There should be a clear communication. Always communicate with your parents. Do not take it for granted, please. Do not take it for granted. If you have WhatsApp group, put it there. What are the children learning daily? What are they? It can be even your Instagram page or your Facebook page. Communicate with the parents. What are they learning daily? What did they do today? What happened in school today? Please, please, and please, let there be a clear and consistent communication channels between your teachers and parents. This will definitely help with the success of the children and even the success of your school. Number 2, parental involvement in school activities. Parental involvement in school activities. This cannot be overemphasized. It might be quite expensive for parents to be involved in your school activities, but it is necessary. It is necessary. Like I said, I'm going to say what has worked for me. I remember in the early days, in the early years of our school, for even till now, we do all we can. Like first term, that's the Christmas term. There will be always Christmas activities and all of that. We do all we can to invite parents, and it's costly, because once you invite parents, you can't just invite parents and they'll be seated. No, you have to give them something. The second term is Easter term. We always do something. The third term is graduation term. There will always be something. And we always involve the parents. Parents like to see their children do things. And it helps these children. It helps them to it helps them with public speaking skills. In this time and age, children should learn public speaking skills. So it's not just the 4 walls of the classroom. So in every school activity, let parents be involved. Get them seated. Let them watch their children speak. Let them watch their children perform one activity or the other. Don't just do it. There are no finances. There are no finances. Don't just do it in your cocoon, in your school's cocoon. Don't just do it in your school cocoon. Invite the parents. Let them see how far their children have gone. Encourage parents to participate in school activities. They can also volunteer in the classroom. During this Teachers' Day, I saw some schools invite parents to teach in the classroom. You are involving the parents, such as volunteering in classrooms, attending school events. Look, this cannot be overemphasized. Encourage parents to attend your school events. You have the number of parents like 50, and 10 parents are attending the school event, sincerely, it is not a good one at all. It is not a good one. Encourage the parents. Encouraging parents to attend your school events can grow your school, can grow your school. We live in an environment where parents like activities. 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 Parents like parties. That's just the way it is to attend your school events. This helps create a community feeling and shows students that their education is valued by their parents. It shows children that their education is valued by their parents. During our school events, we always tell children to go home and talk about it. I've seen situations where a child began to cry simply because he or she did not see his mother or father. So please encourage the children to tell their parents to come for the school events. It helps children to be successful. It will also help your school to be successful. Sincerely, it cannot be overemphasized. Parents should participate. Parents should participate in your school activities. And if you have parents forum, parent teachers forum, it's also good. It's also good. Now, the third one I have here is workshops and training sessions. Workshops and training sessions. I say it over and over again. I'm grateful to God that I'm a teacher. It has really helped me to know how to handle children, because as a teacher, you go for trainings, you go for workshops and all of that. You have to encourage parents to do this. Now, we're going to be having a workshop in my school soon, and the workshop is titled Screen Addiction. Screen Addiction. Parents do not know, some parents do not know this, that too much of screen is bad for children. So we begin to educate parents. You have to educate parents. Once you educate parents, your children will be successful. The children in your school will be successful. Let them know that, okay, your children are always on their gadgets. It's bad for their health, for their eyes. They won't take the academics seriously. What they see on social media is not too good for them. You begin to educate the parents. Once you educate the parents, whatever you're telling the child in the school, the parents goes back home to reinforce it. And sincerely speaking, will the children in your school not be successful? Of course they will. Okay, so parents need workshops and training sessions. Offer workshops and training sessions for parents on various topics, such as helping with homework, understanding the curriculum, and supporting their child's emotional and social development. This empowers parents with the knowledge and skills they need to support their children effectively. There was a time I was invited to speak in a school, to tell the parents to stop, enforcing a course. It's like every parent wanted their child to be science students in that particular school. So the school director had a workshop where I was invited, and I spoke, to the parents. So to help your students succeed, imagine if a child is not good in science, or is not good in commercial subjects or arts subjects, and the parent said, you must be a science student whether you like it or not. You must be a commercial student whether you like it or not. You must be an art student whether you like it or not. The child will not be successful. Imagine a child who is not good in math struggling with physics, motion, quantum, and all of that. It's not going to work. A child doesn't like literature, and the parents are forcing him, it's not going to work. That child will not be successful. Instead of spending 4 years in the university, the child might end up spending 6, 7 years because of one carryover or the other. And it's simply because the parents do not know. They do not know these things. They do not know these things. So you, as the experts, should create workshops and trainings for your parents. Create workshop and trainings for your parents. This will really help your children to be successful. All right. There has to also be supportive resources. The fourth one here I have is supportive resources. Provide resources and materials that parents can use at home to support their child's learning. Resources and materials that parents can use at home to support their child's learning. I'll be sincere with you. There are so many homes that children do not have books to read, not because parents cannot provide it, but because they do not know. Okay, so I'm going to be telling the parents very soon that too much of screen time is not good. Now, I'm going to be providing these parents with resources. How will I be doing that? You want to take screen time away from a child. Ewa, tell you to check the food. You want to take screen time away from a child. There has to be something to replace screen time. You just don't take it away. All right. If you take it away, the child will say is bored. An idle man becomes the devil's, an idle mind becomes the devil's workshop. All right. So if you're taking away screen time, what are you providing to replace the screen time? So on that particular day, parents are going to see novels, okay? They're going to see educational resources, puzzles, puzzles, educational toys, educational games. And of course, the school is going to be making money out of it too. We're going to provide different resources that parents can choose from. And I have also learned that children who are deficient in mathematics, could build their thinking skills, critical thinking skills with puzzles. So all this is what we are going to be telling the parents on that day. So we're going to be telling them, look, limit screen time, and yet we are going to be providing resources. Lots of resources. We've been making so much noise about it on our different channels, on our WhatsApp. We have a WhatsApp platform that is usually muted, and we've been letting them know about this different educational resources that will be available on that day. Okay, parents need educational resources for their children, and we live in a society whereby parents go to work early in the morning and come back late. Okay, so they might not even know where to get it, how to get it, some parents. So it is our duty to make these things easy for them. So as a school, as a teacher, are supposed to, encourage, provide resources and materials that these parents can use at home to support their children's learning. Like I said earlier, and this could include books, educational websites, puzzles, guides on effective parenting strategies, parenting books. If you have teenagers in your school that, the parents don't know how to, guide them, talk to them and all of that, there are so many parenting books that parents can read to support their children. Be the expert. Let the parents know that you are in charge. Provide these resources for the parents. Additionally, schools can offer information about community resources that may be beneficial for families. All in all, provide supportive resources. This cannot be overemphasized. I tell parents in school, look, your child does not need a TV at 2. At the age of 2, your child needs to move around. Your child should not a child should not just sit in one place for hours. That is what the screen does. A child needs to move around and play while learning. So provide educational resources for that 2-year-old child, for that 3-year-old child. Provide books for the child that can read. If you are taking away the screen, like I said earlier on, resource materials should be provided. Now, collaborative goal setting. We are looking at how you can foster partnerships for student success. Collaborative goal setting. At the beginning of every term, all right? At the beginning of every term, we teach children how to set goals. How to set goals in each subject. All right, we tell the children, the pupils, Okay, what did you get last time in agric? You had an E. What would you like to have this term in agric? I want to have a B. Okay, so what do you want to do to have that B? All right. Each child set goals. And from experience as a teacher, as a director, and as a parent, 90% of the time, these goals cannot be achieved. This academic success cannot be achieved without the parents' involvement. So the goal setting has to be collaborative. Now, we cannot, so for children that are deficient in a particular subject, maybe numeracy, maths, and English, which we actually know is compulsory to move to the next class, a child should at least have, an average in maths or English. And because, we all know that even in WAEC, a child has to pass mathematics and English. So if a child is deficient in any of the subjects, the child sets goals. All right. We also encourage the parents, look, your child is determined to have a C in maths. All right. How do you want to help this child? Okay, how do you want this child to achieve this goal? How can you help her? A child that is deficient in maths should probably practice maths every day. Every day. And a child gets home and does not even have time to practice maths because he or she is busy with one chore or the other. Okay, so the parent has to sit down and say, look, in the next 1 year or all throughout this term, all throughout this session, I want you to do well. I'm going to give you 2 hours or 3 hours every day to go through your books. The parent has to be aware that this child wants to be successful in mathematics, has to be aware that this child wants to be successful in English language, in agric. So while we encourage these children to set goals, we even tell them, look, paste it on the wall in your room. Look at it every day. Let your parents even see it. The goal has to be collaborative. It says here, involve parents in setting academical, personal, and development goals for their children. Like I said earlier on, look, we want these children to succeed, but sincerely speaking, we cannot do it alone as a school. We need the parent to be involved. A parent that is involved, in a child's academic will do better. Okay. Once a parent is involved, the child will probably do better. All right. Regular meetings, you should have regular meetings to discuss progress and adjustments to these goals, which can help ensure that parents and teachers are working towards the same objectives and provide tailored support. All right. So as a school, you have to involve parents in setting academic and personal development goals for the children. It can be even music goals, spiritual goals. That's in school, we children do partake in music classes, and the music teacher will say, look, if you really want to learn how to play the saxophone properly, you have to give at least 30 minutes every day. You have to give at least 30 minutes every day to play your saxophone when you get home. And if a parent is not involved, number one, the child can get home and even forget and not play his or her musical instruments. But we let the parents know. We have another group for parents whose children are taking musical instruments. Daily, we put, okay, when the child gets home, let the child play his instrument for 30 to 45 minutes. So parents should be involved. Musical goals, spiritual goals, if it is a Christian school, for every goal that you have set with that child, especially if the child is of age, the parents should be involved. Do not set goals without the involvement of the parents. You would not really achieve your desired results. Parents have to be involved. All right. So I'm going to have a recap of everything I've said. I said one, establish clear and consistent communication channels between teachers and parents. Regular communication. Regular communication. Let your parents know what's happening in your school. Let your parents know what's happening. Let them know that by the first week of resumption, work has started. Let them know that by the 10th week, something is happening. At the first week, there might be a calendar. Don't just give them the calendar. Post it on all channels that you have. Let them know what is going on. Let them be involved. Let them know what is going on with their children. Let them know. How often do you send newsletters? How often do you send mails? How often do you send text messages? If you do, let it be regular. Let there be regular communication. I've heard parents complain in forums, in parent teachers forums, that there is no communication. When there's no communication, sincerely speaking, you cannot grow as an organization. Imagine, even as a couple, if there's no communication between your spouse, you can hardly move forward. If there's no good communication, even with your child, there is no bonding with your child. How can you move forward? So the school is structured in such a way that there has to be regular communication with your parents for that child to move forward. And you know that if the child has moved forward, definitely you yourself as a school, the school will definitely increase in numbers. And of course, there will be money in the bank accounts. I said also parental involvement in school activities. This cannot be overemphasized. Parents love activities. They love it too much. Now there should be a balance. There should be a balance. And I've heard complaints that this school does, so many activities and all of that. But there should be a balance. Whatever the case may be, let your parents be involved. Like I said earlier on, if you have 50 parents and 10 parents are attending your activities, or 10 parents, only 10 parents attended your school activity, that is a bad sign. That is a bad signal. You have 50 parents, at least more than half. Why? They should, even 40 of them should be there. I'm not telling you something that I've not done. I'm telling you something that has worked for me. We go as much as, even sending emails, letters, whatever we can do to make parents involved. Let them come. Let them come to see how far their children have gone. Let them come to see what their children have learned. And, they're always proud. You would see your child, making a speech in the presence of parents. They're always very, very happy. Once parents come and the children do well, sincerely speaking, they are going to be happy. And, in school business, one thing we should all know is this. um it's one thing to retain your parents. Retaining your parents is very, very important. You won't be struggling for more parents to come in. Meanwhile, those in are not staying. So it should be of great concern to you to at least retain your parents. We want more numbers, yes, but what use is it if, as 5 parents are coming, 4 parents are leaving? 10 parents are coming, 8 parents are leaving. So do all you can to retain your parents. And that is through activities. Let them be involved in activities. Let the children know that their parents are coming. Once they know that their parents are coming, they want to speak well. They would listen in class while they are rehearsing or doing whatever activity they are rehearsing. So parental involvement would definitely make a child successful in school. And once a child is successful in school, that means your school would also grow, and there will be more money in the accounts. I also said workshops and training sessions. This cannot be overemphasized. As a school, you need it. Since you are the expert, let his parents know. Your child has to do his or her homework. Um, your child has to do his or her homework. Let them know about look, your child might not really be safe with a neighbor. There are sex perverts everywhere. People don't know these things. Position yourself as an expert. Tell the parents, communicate with them. Your child should not be found in with this particular set of friends, this. There should be workshops and trainings over and over. If they cannot come, if it cannot be physically, it can be online. It can be online. It can be through WhatsApp. You can have workshops and trainings on social media platforms, on Telegram, anything, have workshop, train the parents. Train. One thing that can help you is to let them know that you are the expert. Train the parents, let them know, back to back workshops, back to back trainings, how to be, you can call something, how to be excellent in mathematics, how a child can be excellent in mathematics, how a child can be great in physics, and how your child can be a good public speaker. You know, be the expert. Position yourself in such a way that you are trying to help them. They know you are trying to help them. If it's a nursery school, how your child can eat better. Some toddlers, some preschoolers don't eat. How your child can eat better. Um, lunch plan for preschoolers. Reduce the intake of noodles. Why you should position yourself, but let them know that you know what you are doing. I said also supportive resources. Have supportive resources, books. There are times when, you could, I can't really remember the name, of this activity where you have books for sale, novels for sale, resources. You just have a 2-day book fair. Yes, book fair. You can have a book fair, where 2 or 3 days where parents can come in to, get resources for their children. All right. I also said collaborative goal setting. Collaborative goal setting. You cannot Children cannot set goals on their own without the parents knowing what they have set goals on. A child that plays the musical instrument should know that he or she is supposed to play the musical instrument every day. If the parent is not involved, there might be little or no improvement at all. All right. I hope I have been able to help you, or I hope I've been able to explain how we can foster meaningful partnerships for students' success. How parental engagement can foster meaningful partnerships for students' success. My name is Folaromi Bolarinwa. Thank you.
Wow, wow. I don't know. Can you hear me clearly now? I know it was very
I can hardly hear you.
faint earlier. Ah, see, you can still hear me clearly. Ah,
It's faint,
why
but
I'm
I'm
actually
trying.
shouting at the top of my voice from here. I don't know why it's not coming out loud. Okay, I'm so sorry. Like I'm even shouting at the top of my voice. I don't know why it's not coming out there. But then thank you so
Okay.
very much. This is so empowering. This is why I hope that every school that listen to this are equipped already with a lot of things they can do to not just attract new parents, but then to retain them, to work with their parents, to collaborate with them, to ensure the success of their children. Thank you so much. This is empowering. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm so sorry about this hearing of a thing that my voice is not coming out. I'm really inconveniencing you, but then thank you so very much. Thank you, man. God bless you, man. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Thank you so much, man.
You're welcome.
Wow. Thank you, man. Do anybody have a question? Do anybody have question? I'm not sure. You have a question. Okay, so we'll just call it a wrap here. I'm trying to see if anybody have any question. But if we don't have question, we'll just call it a wrap. Yeah. Thank you so much once again, ma'am. I really appreciate it. I know it takes a lot to have you here this evening. I know it takes a lot to have you here this evening, but then thank you so much for the sacrifice. Thank you so much. God bless you, ma'am. Thank you so much and have a blessed day. To everybody that's part of this bootcamp, thank you so much. I hope that this has been empowering for you. The idea of the bootcamp is to empower school leader with the insight that it gives a strategy to empower them to show them how to achieve school growth by focusing on the needs of their students. So not achieving school growth at the expense of their student needs, but doing both together. In fact, satisfy the needs of their students, which also going to lead towards school growth. So I'm really glad that you're part of this. If you join late, the replay is going to be available on YouTube. Make sure that you watch it. Thank you so much and have a great evening ahead. Thank you. I'm Bima Abu Saib of the Latif Adedeji, the Flame Flashman expert, and I can't wait to have to do more of this. I hope that this has been valuable for you so far. Thank you so much and have a blessed evening. Thank you. Bye.